Welcome to the Building on Purpose TubeCast, where contractors share how they build with intention, purpose, and impact. Ladies and gentlemen, look at my man, Ron Nussbaum. Dude, you've got this beard thing going on. Like, you used to stand up and yell at me years ago. And now you've got this, like, dude, like this freaking really badass looking beard.
Yeah, I'm a couple weeks past getting my hair cut and stuff, so the beard's really coming in.
I guess so. And now look at me. I'm all like super thin, small, tiny model beard, that kind of stuff going on, man.
I'll look like that after tomorrow. Once
right.
We went to Orlando. I missed my haircut appointment, so I'm like 6 weeks behind. I mean, as you can tell, like I'm
look
desperate.
Oh, bro, you've got gorgeous hair, though, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Building on Purpose TubeCast. Thank you very much, Ron, for coming in.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
It's been a long time. This was the shortest TubeCast podcast we've ever had. All he had to do, ladies and gentlemen, was show me his gorgeous hair, make me super jealous. The podcast is over. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Building on Purpose TubeCast. So, bro, welcome to my TubeCast. And you're like, dude, what's a TubeCast? Well, here's the situation. When I wanted to build this for our clients and our partners, I was like, everybody calls their stuff a podcast. But in actuality, ain't nobody got a podcast anymore because nobody's got an iPod. So I was talking with Katie, and I was like, well, everybody just puts their interviews on YouTube, right? She goes, yeah. I said, well, why don't we call it a TubeCast? She goes, brilliant. So we call this a TubeCast, and the Building on Purpose TubeCast is all about kind of talking about you, your mission statement, your values, your purpose, who your clients are, what you do. So let's just dive into this, Ron, man. Why don't you tell our audience here, because I don't think a lot of the people in my world, our clients, know who you are and what BuilderComs is. I want to talk a little bit about BuilderComs today, and then we'll dive into the 5 little questions that we rock and roll with. Sound fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. So tell us what BuilderComs is. What is BuilderComs?
Yeah. So BuilderComs, it's hard to tell you what it is without telling you how it exists.
Why don't we start with how it exists then?
Yeah. So I spent over a decade in residential construction. And I always dealt with upset customers, and I got tired of that. And I'm a solutions guy. Like, I don't want to scale problems. I want to scale solutions.
Right.
And as we were continuing to grow, every time we added on a new crew, I continued to compound the problem of communication. Like, how do I talk to our team members? How do we talk to our clients? And every piece of software we had just let me down when it came to this. It was always just like a Band-Aid, and I don't want to scale Band-Aids. I want to have a solution that every time we add on a crew, I never worry about this problem ever again. That's just how I ran operations. And one night I was laying in bed, and it just hit me as if I just had a piece of software that worked as like air traffic control to get the right people talking to the right people. I could solve this problem. And I went down the road of building that. And then me and my wife had the conversation of like, we could solve this problem for the entire industry. Like, why does it have to just be us? And I got very passionate about that. Right. And that is how BuilderComs came about. And what we are and what we are becoming is we're a messaging first project management software.
Yeah.
We do what we do really good, and we just do that.
Do you think, hard-hitting question, interview by Chris Scoville, do you think your tool, this is hard, I'm going to go there, can be replaced by AI? And I don't know. I'm just asking because you've had to think about this.
No, not at all.
Good.
Because AI is good with data and having information. And what our tool actually does is collect that data and information.
Got it. So there's a human touch to it.
Yeah, our tool becomes super powerful with AI. And
okay, got it. All right, so the AI efficiencies can be built in. Okay.
Yeah, and just I think the great thing about AI is when you have that data, the stuff that it can answer. Like the ability to send an agent into your software and be able to ask pinpointed questions about what's happening on projects, what is currently going on, what is being said, and get real time, not opinionated data.
Right.
Like whenever I used to always say I would show up to projects and I would only have the information that my guys wanted me to know.
Yeah.
Completely like biased data. And I would get a completely different story from the homeowner.
It's like your business is like the project's like a little kid.
Yeah.
What did you do in school today? Mom, I got straight A. I won the relay race. I ate all my lunch. So you got straight A's, you won the relay race, and you ate all your lunch, huh?
And then you show up and you get your ass chewed by the teacher because the kid's completely a disaster.
Exactly. You're like, wait a minute. You told me your school comms. Oh man, dude, did we just build another software? Schoolcoms.com?
We've been in talks with the New York school district. It's one of the irons in the fire. Let me put it that way.
That's interesting.
I'm not betting the deck on. I'm not betting the company on it.
I think that you've known me a long time. I am a huge proponent of communication. So when you told me years ago you were building this thing, dude, I've always been all in with you on the idea of it. I've probably just done a really poor job at sharing with our clients how maybe perhaps they can utilize this tool from the Improvifi perspective, the paradigm shift of, so maybe you and I have to have more discussions on, is there a different play of how we can help plug this into our Improvifi solution, which we'll do someday down the road. So, all right, cool. So we understand kind of where BuilderComs was adopted from and the reasoning from. Now I know you're an old military guy, right?
Yeah.
So you must have mission statement, values, and purpose, right? Do you have that memorized or something that you can share with anybody that's viewing this right now?
Yeah, so our mission is to change how the construction industry communicates with its team and clients forever.
All right. So that's your mission.
That's my arching drive is like, how do we just fix this once and for all? Because everything that has been before and has not ever fixed it. Yeah. It's only actually added more complexity to it. So my goal is just to build something that's super simple that gets the job done.
Yeah, simple is important to contractors. I read an unfortunate, maybe an unfortunate situation of a business guy that I know from the industry. He came right out and he really was very open and honest to people. And I think he burned through 20 million of investment funds, but he was so clear that in the end, he realized why it didn't work. His tool complicated things rather than his solution was to fix things, because his idea was brilliant, but all it ended up doing was complicating things. So I think that you're right there, Ron. Like you said it has to be an easy tool for contractors to use, or else they won't use it because they're already inundated by CRMs and field service systems and takeoff measurement tools and Chris's freaking financing app that they've got to take the financing app and then the financing portal to go fund the deal. Like, what does this mean? But I think, and I've always said this, I'd probably be a great salesperson for you. Wars, divorce, horrible things happen because of the lack of communication. And I think with
documentation of it,
just all of the stuff can be solved through BuilderComs and community. So months and months ago, before we moved out to Utah, I saw this crew down in Florida raking the yard for the rusty nails right after the project. And the guy was filming it while he was doing it. And of course, I'm walking the dog and I go over, I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? You know, I said, I'm from Improvifi, roofing, financing, shooting shit. He goes, oh, we document what we're doing. We send it to the homeowners to tell them and show them what we're doing in case they come up with any other nails that they find. We want to let them know that we've at least done this in their yard. And Ron, there you go. That's something that your device could probably communicate between the contractor 100%. And the homeowner, right?
We do videos, documents, pictures, all of that stuff right in there. It creates a living document. The customer has, you have forever. Like it becomes part of your records for the job. And that's what, see, I got tired of everybody having everything on this, and I had none of the data. Somebody goes somewhere else. I don't want to make this necessarily about the data, but like, let's think about where that stuff lies. Like, where is your information? Where is all your messages with the client?
Oh, for like if something arises down the road.
Yeah, if anything arises, people move on. They're no longer with you. You don't have any
change orders.
Yeah, you only have the information that the customer has. So what we really sought to become is this data hub where this stuff just lives. So you have it, the customer has it. You can go back and reference it when somebody's like, we said this at some point in time. You can go search those messages, that communication that you had with them, and find out exactly what was said and who's at fault.
Yeah, man, I love it. So, who do you serve? Do you just serve a certain asset class? Who are your clients? Who do you serve?
Yeah, so of course, builders. That's a big one for us.
Let's define what is a builder.
We really serve custom home builders a lot because they get it and they have high-end clients. They need to have the stuff there. So spec builders, if you're looking at wanting to have that documentation, what's happening on that project, we've of course moved into roofing, remodelers. Residential construction as a whole starts to become a demographic. I came from the foundation and waterproofing and crawl spacing industry, so we have a leg into that just because that's where I spent all my time. And the most interesting one recently, and this doesn't necessarily apply to your users, but just to get people thinking about how it can be utilized, home flippers to report to their investors, to keep investors up to date. So they're not sending emails, so they utilize it from a perspective of they get their investors on it, and then they just put all their updates in there. Their investors can see what's happening with the flip at any time.
So how do you reach, how are they finding you?
They search communication construction projects on Google and they find us.
So the old search engine optimization and the Googleator, huh?
Yeah, we've become Ron Nussbaum, BuilderComs. If you start searching communication in the construction industry, we have done a very good job of putting us as being the authority in this.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. You weren't originally called BuilderComs, were you?
No, we spent the first 12 months known as Nut Nest.
God, dude, I remember when you and I had launched Blue Pages, you had launched this.
Yeah.
We've done plenty of podcasts and interviews with each other. And I remember when you made the brand change, I was like, yes. I was like, yes, man, yes. Since Blue Pages, I have exited that industry, by the way. We are only Improvifi. What a freaking name. Improvifi. Like, people, I was like, what the fuck? Finance improved. Oh, improv. Are you guys comedians? No, it's improved. Oh, dude, trust me, man. Names are funny, right? But I think we're in a weird place now. I think that we finally arrived in this weird tech world where you can literally just put letters with letters and it can look cool. And people are like, oh, cool, Improvifi. It's such a phenomenal financing cool name. Like, Improvifi.com. I set it up in LLC and we were born.
It sounds good at dinner in Utah.
It's a good story. Where do you hail? Where's your headquarters?
Emerald Isle, North Carolina.
All right, beautiful. Love it. So we know who you serve. We know who you are. We got your mission statement, your value. Who's your perfect avatar? Who's your perfect customer and why? Like, why are they your perfect customer? Who is it?
So All Perfect Customer has evolved, and it's actually pretty crazy. So our real perfect customer is somebody that is currently not using any technology in their business, and they're looking to get started. We found this out pretty quickly. 70% of our users were the first technology that they're implementing in their business, literally going from a pad and pen to using technology. And I think that speaks to the fact that we built something simple to use. It's what we hear the most is like, thank you for just putting the buttons where they should be at, and it just does what it's supposed to. And there's not really a revenue stream to put on that, because I deal with guys that are one-man operations doing $500,000 a year to people doing 9-10 million that are still have never introduced technology into their business. So we become a way to be able to bridge people and to start using technology in the construction industry. And that is where we have really gotten traction and really been able to thrive. And it's crazy, because it's a very unique group to do business.
So this is a software as a service, BuilderComs.com. Is it a monthly or an annual agreement or investment?
So it's currently an annual going to a monthly.
So you want to get into bill collecting? That's cute.
No, well, so if that's we have a pretty robust free offer. Well, so like. We're having annual, so September, a lot of things are going to change at BuilderComs.
Okay, good. All right.
We're flipping the script on pretty much everything, and we're knee deep in the build of what version 2 would be coming out here in September, and that's all coming off of user feedback. People that are users, people that were users, and people that never became users. I've conducted probably at least 100 plus hours of interviews with these people on what exactly do they want.
I love it.
Like, what does that look like? So we're taking BuilderComs and transitioning into becoming a more complete project management software. Cool. We're going to add in the features that users want. When we have 70% of our users are first-time software users, they quickly grow into needing more. So we want to provide that for them, and that's what we decided to build. And we've been in the process of building that now for a couple months, and September's our go live day with it. So some of our pricing and how we do that's going to change just because the entire software changes. But we are going to keep our free forever program, which would give guys that are smaller that want to use software the opportunity to do that.
Cool. We tested when we built Improvifi, and we turned it to an investment platform. I say investment because people invest with us and we become their partner and we make them a shit ton of money. It costs money to be on our platform because we're not free. We're not a non-for-profit. We are here to build really cool things to help people sell more and make more money and help more homeowners at point of sale. We're here to bring teammates on, and they cost money. We're here to create more software and development and bring new solutions, which is going to help our contractors make more money. Like, I learned a long time ago, free only gets you so far until you fail. Holy cow. Free only gets you so far until you fail. Quote, end quote. We'll make a short of that, dude. I think you can agree that we create these things that help people, and we give it away for free, and they don't even appreciate the value of what we've given them. The moment that you attach a dollar figure to an investment, they're like, when you compare an automobile to an automobile, sometimes when you spend more money on that special automobile, you appreciate it a little bit more. People that pay attention.
That is absolutely true. Our best customers are the ones that pay us money.
We learned that our monthly investment, we had more cancellations. We had people changing their credit card numbers on us. We became a collection agency. Instead of concentrating on us building their business for them and helping them make a ton of money, we were chasing $200 a month. Then in the interim, you figured out who your perfect customer is, right, Ron? We figured out who our perfect customer is. The ones that just pay us up front and go, let's go to war. Let's go to war. Let's go help some people. Let's go make some money together. Let's have celebratory stories that we can share. Let's help Mrs. Jones put the air conditioner home. She's got no money, and make her house cool for $89 a month. Like, yeah, now we get to celebrate that. But man, Ron, it was a lot of testing to find out we became a collection agency for $200 a month. And people do, they turn their credit cards off, they change. So we learned, we stopped, no more monthly. It's an annual investment with us. We've increased our price a couple times because we keep adding cool shit on. So we learned big time as units. So that's exciting. You're going to do a new relaunch, and I was paying attention to you. And that's why I brought you on here, because I want my people that are in my world to understand what you do and to stay in touch with you when you do this big rollout. I also like to ask as kind of like the final question. This is a short TubeCast. We keep it at half an hour. I know you probably got a deep why, because I know you as a man, not just a fellow cohort in this industry. What is your why?
So you just gave me goosebumps. When you asked me that, is because if I don't, no one else will. No one cares about this.
Yeah.
A lot of times our customers don't give a shit about it until we have a conversation and they start to realize not just what this is costing them, the stress that it's putting on their life.
Yeah.
Everybody out there wants to say they do communication, but no one really does. Oh. And it has to be fixed for our industry, for our customers. Communication is the number one complaint you hear.
Yeah.
And nobody else is willing to step up and talk about the elephant in the room besides Ron Nussbaum. Yeah. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Is because nobody else will. And I am perfectly fine with being the guy that will have that hard conversation with an entire industry that doesn't even necessarily want to hear it.
It is. Like, I train our contractors to say, ask your homeowners if they've ever done any other home improvement projects. And my guys are like, why? Because you want to know how the experience was. And they go, why? Because you freaking care. And you also owe it to them to let them know that you're going to be an over communicator on the process. And that's what makes you a differentiator. And freaking BuilderComs can be the one little tool that you add to your business for you to be just another roofer to a substantially awesome, amazing roofer that communicates with his customers on a higher level and has data and can document it. And then your data, you can compare it down the road probably with data blocks. Data is diamond.
It is. And I didn't even realize it until I started building this and having these conversations. And that's what excites people, not just in construction, outside of construction, is like we've never had access to this kind of data because it's so fractured. And you bring it all into one place and you start to have access
to that. To see repetitive behaviors that you can actually go and change the industry and make things better all the way across.
Yeah, you're big on training. We used to train all the time. And you know what used to aggravate me is I would train on assumptions because this is how I felt or this is what I hear. Like there's never any hard data on what exactly is happening. How do we improve this? We now have the ability to create that data, have that conversation, and then train on it. So it never happens ever again. And it's not just a hypothetical. I think you are saying this. No, right here it is. This is what's being said. This is how we need to.
You're telling me that your tool is kind of like Rilla and Spotio. Are you recording the stuff in the home?
No, we're not recording anything, but when people send messages and they communicate through there.
Communication data, yes.
Yeah, we have all of that information. And now that we're rolling out a calendar and all of this other stuff for project management, it's going to allow us to be able to look at not just the conversations, but what's the reality that happens. And that we have it all in one place where we can now say, this is the timelines for the conversations. This is the timelines on the projects. This is what happened. This was the outcome, good, bad, indifferent. But we actually have a solid, it's not hypothetical anymore. It's not like I feel like this, so I'm going to do this.
So you now got the data to be more proactive than reactive.
Yes, and that's the way to live. Like when I talk about scaling solutions and not scaling problems in the construction industry, what do? We just scale problems because we never want to face them head on. Well, you don't get to 9 figures plus in revenue scaling problems unless you want to be there 150 hours a week dealing with them. That's why I was always a solution. This is the problem. Let's have a permanent solution for it so we never have to worry about it again.
I looked over my shoulder to see if Brian was home. Brian Thayer is a project manager for a company called Watts out here in Utah, and they have maybe 13 custom homes being built right now. And when I see him tonight, he usually goes out back with his dog, and then I take my dog, and then our wives laugh at us because we're just geeks. We just like to. He likes to tell me how his day went. I tell him how mine was. We pick up dog shit together. I'm going to ask him tonight if he's got a communication tool that he's using. And then I'm also going to ask the hard-hitting questions to him. Why aren't you using one when there's stuff like BuilderComs out here that you can use to communicate with all these different subs and installers and homeowners and the owner of Watts? And he's the project manager on 6 projects. And they got another project manager over there on 4. He's got another one up there on 3. And they're doing a commercial project down there. So I'm going to dig into it. So we're wrapping up. Now, obviously, people know how to get a BuilderComs. I'll put your information in below of this, everybody that's listening to this, so you can get on. Do you have a team now that do demos, or are you still kind of doing the demo?
We need to catch up. I'm gonna blow your mind with some of the stuff that I'm doing and what the game plan is. But we're going to continue to stay small and continue to scale using technology in the back end, which will still allow me to be able to deal with customers from that perspective. Because that's the only way. I tell people all the time is I'm out of the field. The only way BuilderComs continues becoming the software the industry needs is what our users tell us. Yes. That's the only possible way. So I try to stay in touch with them. I have conversations with our users. We're an anomaly in the software. We don't care about any of that stuff. All we care about is providing the solution to the construction industry. Because if I do that, I get paid.
I love it. So you're scaling in a very controllable manner for the business. Yep. You know, we didn't take any capital or give any percentage of our company away to. So we were just like you, baby, bootstrap from the flip-flops
up. The only way to be.
Well, let's me and you get on a demo here soon. I'm going to love to share your story. We're going to, Katie will be in touch to get your data. We'll build a nice little block under here, and then I'll get out to the universe and share your story. Folks, if you're looking for a communication device, get on over to buildercoms.com. Talk to Ron, talk to the team. You got to communicate. You just have to have some type of communication in time. That's why we're here talking. Ron, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm a huge fan and big supporter of you, brother, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
You got it. We'll talk to you soon, my brother, man.